Judge Osler's retirement from Department 5 has left some big shoes to fill. She is the first woman to be on the district court bench, both as its first commissioner and its first judge. She has left behind a legacy of kindness, humor, empathy, hard work, and commitment to the highest standards of professionalism and application of the law, and commitment to the community we serve. Although we look forward to all the new things that Megan will bring to our bench, we also know that she will be able to bring those same skills and commitment that have defined Department 5. Again, I want to thank you for being here. At this time, I'm going to introduce Judge Robert Lewis to further introduce Ms. Peyton. Judge Lewis.
All right, thank you. I'll keep my remarks short. I promised that to Megan, and I should indicate that a lot of people know Megan here in this room a lot better than I do. So I was a little surprised and very flattered that she asked me to speak on her behalf. I think I know her primarily because you're always running into her in the courtroom if you practice for any period of time, and I've been around practicing for a while, and she's a person who is always working. Whenever I know Megan Peyton, she's working, and not just working in the big glamorous sort of things you might think of, but in a variety of hearings, coming in on first appearances, working in things like Blake. Anybody ever heard of the Blake decision? Yeah, Megan Peyton lives the Blake decision in her dreams, I'm sure, at times. So when I heard that she was going to be a district court judge, I thought it was a perfect fit, because if you've been around Megan and you've seen how she works and what she does, she has all the attributes that a district court judge needs. First, she works on high pressure, high volume things, not things that are simple. I don't mean to suggest that because you work on something where you have to make quick decisions that somehow that makes it easy. When she's in first appearances, she would have to often talk to multiple people, gather information, give them some quick advice, review the things that you need to review for making recommendations to for release conditions, things of that nature, and then be ready to recite, and then be ready to put that out of your head and go to the next thing. The Blake decision required her to review thousands of cases, to deal with the issues in those cases, to craft different orders, to deal with resentencings and the fact that some cases have more than one charge and there might be restitution involved. So it's not simply you just pull out a form and do things. She had to work on all of those things. So it's knowing the law, knowing how to do things in court, handling yourself in court, and dealing with high pressure, high volume situations. And frankly, having to deal with grumpy judges sometimes who you're in the breakout room and you know there's somebody out there waiting. I'm not saying me, but somebody out there is waiting for you to get done with that breakout room. So you get out, make your pitch, and go to the next breakout room. So she knows how to work quickly and with a good temperament, a professional temperament, to make good decisions and to express those decisions in court. And that's all the things that a district court judge needs to do. We have a great district court bench that has to make that kind of decision all the time, to work on cases that may not be huge compared to some of the big glamorous ones, but come in day after day after day and require professional demeanor, quick decisions, knowledge of the law, all the things that Megan had. So I'm pretty sure she's going to do a pretty good job and fit right in with her colleague. She's leaving or taking over some people who did a good job, and I think she'll do the same. So I'm going to turn it over to Neil Anderson, who I think has worked with her a little bit, and congratulations, Megan.
Thank you. I'm going to talk until Judge Lewis cuts me off, something he's very experienced at doing. I wasn't totally prepared because yesterday I asked Megan if we could set this over a month to give me additional time to think of something nice to say about her. She said absolutely not. Fortunately, my friend Mr. Carrasco explained ChatGPT to me, so I've got something ready to go. I met Megan 20 odd years ago when she joined my aunt Janet's firm. Even back then, as a Rule 9, she had a mind of her own. Wasn't shy, in fact, rather eager to disagree with senior attorneys. Even as a very young woman, she had a great deal of gravitas. In criminal defense, of course, you're talking on a regular basis to people who are having the absolute worst days of their lives. And a lot of people who do this job burn out. Megan did not burn out. She thrived. I am kind of notorious for telling people, don't fall in love with the problem, solve the problem. I never had to say that to Megan because she knew that long before I ever met her. A couple of anecdotes come to mind. I remember when Megan hadn't been practicing very long, she had a very elderly client who sadly died. And Megan, as she often did, went above and beyond and stepped in to help manage that client's personal affairs. She quickly established herself as a formidable trial attorney. The trial of hers that I recall the best is one where, if I remember correctly, the charge was disorderly conduct. And I asked her, what's the nature of your client's defense? Expecting her to say general denial or something like that. She said, bro hug. I'm like, come again? He was crossing the street, saw his buddy, gave him a bro hug. The cops thought they were starting to fight. She got a not guilty. My aunt's firm eventually merged with Jeff Barra's Vancouver Defenders. And after several years of working there, Megan joined Greenan and Greenan, working very closely with Lisa Toth. Where are you, Lisa? If you want to hear anecdotes about Megan's years at Greenan and Greenan, Lisa's got the most entertaining ones. Eventually, Megan rejoined Vancouver Defenders, and at some point after she rejoined the firm, Jeff Barra retired. Christy Emmerich became our new boss, and Megan became Christy's second in command. I was a little surprised that Megan asked me instead of Christy or Lisa to introduce her, and maybe Megan's wondering the same thing after she heard me say. A couple of memories from Megan's second tenure at Van Def stand out. There was the time that she visited a client at the jail, a client who had charges which I won't get into specifics, but are the sort of charges that result in a lengthy voir dire. She sent an email to the office saying, hello, I've been locked in the jail cell with my client. I'm proud to say that each and every member of Vancouver Defenders immediately spent the next half hour mercilessly making fun of Megan, who was forced to save herself by using her cell phone to call the front desk, which eventually was, after way too long, was able to route her to the Rover station. There was another occasion where I had a case with where a client was facing very, very serious consequences, and Megan agreed to second chair me on the case. It was a very complicated case, and it took years to resolve. Eventually, we got a favorable resolution for the client, and it pains me to say this, but I could not have done it without Megan. The client is out of custody now and regularly calls the office on about a monthly basis to tell us what's going on with him. Now I have to take all of his calls. Also, it should be noted that while having a stellar legal career, she married a fine man named Griffin, and they raised 3 good children. I assume they're good children. I don't really know anything about them, except I haven't seen their names on the juvenile docket. In conclusion, the defense bar's loss, judiciary's gain. Congratulations, Megan.
Peyton, at this time, I'd ask you to either. Please raise your right hand. I, and state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Megan D. Peyton, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I am a citizen of the United States and of the state of Washington,
that I am a citizen of the United States and of the state of Washington,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States and the
Constitution and laws of the state of Washington,
Constitution and laws of the state of Washington,
and will to the best of my judgment, skill, and ability
and will, to the best of my judgment, skill, and ability,
truly, faithfully, diligently, and impartially perform the duties of the office of District Court Judge, Department Number 5,
truly, faithfully, diligently, and impartially perform the duties of the office of District Court Judge, Department Number 5,
in and for Clark County, Washington, as such duties are prescribed by law.
in and for Clark County, Washington, as such duties are prescribed by law.
At this point, I will ask the Peyton family to please come forward to robe Judge Gates.
Always making the eldest. There we go. The youngest is kind of nervous, guys. All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I hate this. My husband will attest, this is not me, so. But I want to really take this opportunity to thank everyone in here for being here today. It really means so much to me. I really want to take this opportunity to thank everyone that I've worked with for these last 20 years as an attorney, as I'm kind of moving forward, because I think it's important, especially right now, to take those moments to thank you when we get them. I want to start with thanking the Clark County Council for appointing me. There were so many great candidates who have dedicated years of their career serving our community. So I know it was a difficult decision. I now know what it's like to put yourself out there and say, yeah, I think I can do this, and I want to do this. I hope to see anyone else who has gone through that process with me in the future continue to take those chances, because it is quite, it feels like such a risk and spotlight to go ahead and say you're willing to try and do this. I can't tell you how honored I am to be taking over for Judge Kelly Osler. It does seem crazy, I think, to a lot of the women in here to think that she was the first female judge in Clark County District Court. And that was just 20 years ago, because she was appointed right around the time I began working as an attorney. So to me, that's kind of crazy how far we've come. I can't imagine where we'll be if you look at our bench. Well, there's not all here, there's lots of, there's a solid female versus male, a nice little even division, and I think that's great. So certainly, I think Clark County will continue to strive for that as our community continues to get bigger and more diverse, and I think it's even more important in the future. Thank you to Judge Lewis and Neil. I did pick both of you because I knew you would be fairly quick one. In the crowd, I could have picked so many of you, and I just want to highlight, Judge Gregerson was a great point of reference for me going through the process of getting appointed and support. A lot of the district court judges I've worked with for the years, and Judge Slide, Judge Smith, Judge Snyder, I really appreciated working with you and seeing you as a mother on the bench, to be honest. It's important to me. Judge Vanderwood, seeing you handle and how you present yourself and communicate with people in front of you, I was always really impressed with. Judge Clark, we are so excited having a defense attorney come on the bench in Superior Court. Commissioner Phelan is someone I've worked with for a lot of years and learned from. And I was really excited for Commissioner Ramsey getting picked as a defense attorney, seeing him in the courtroom and how smart he is, and actually hearing him speak at a couple CLEs. I am very excited to work with you and learn from you, and I know I'll be learning a lot. So And Judge Lopez and I will be starting this kind of new adventure together. And I'm very excited with her civil background, because guess where I'm starting, guys? So many fractions of protection. So couldn't, help the way out don't think. But I did want to say, Judge Lewis, I've really been always in awe of your command of the courtroom and the work that gets done as a result of that. And some attorneys may say that it's actually just a result of the fear we have of your annoyance. But I have found that if you're prepared in your courtroom, there's no need for fear mostly. And you get the attorneys to get that extra effort to be prepared for you when you do cause them to be slightly scared. So I've always appreciated that. I've always tried to be very prepared in your courtroom, in all courtrooms, but that fear does kind of wake you up in the morning. So I also know your commitment to not only being progress in the courtroom, but outside the entire justice system is something I really would like to be a part of. I'd also really like to be Judge Lewis in the future during one of those lunchtime meetings where around 12:50, some attorney makes some suggestion after the court has decided how they're going to do something, and he shuts them down. He's already considered it. I don't know why I didn't realize that and why that's not going to work. So I really always appreciate that, because you're at the table, you're offering suggestions, you're putting in the work. I always notice on first drafts, you're one of the main judges to fill in for other judges. And so those are the kind of things I'm going to take for you. Neil, there's no one I've worked with longer. You're gonna hate this. There's no one I respect more as an attorney in terms of what your sense of what is right and wrong, what should and should not be done, your inner moral code. Yes, when I started as a Rule 9 in 2006, you were handling all the county DV cases. You were at a double-digit number for not guilty verdicts in the county misdemeanor DV unit, which isn't an easy thing to do. Going to trial and getting somewhere around 10, 11, 12 in a row and not guilty verdicts. He was the only one doing public defense county DV cases. It was kind of insanity and wrong, but that's being a public defender. You also were the first one to walk me to my first DV docket that I was going by myself to handle on my own as a Rule 9. Your big words of advice was, you learn by watching and then by doing it. So go ahead and do it. And if you have any questions, ask Christy, the city DV attorney, and she will answer any questions that you might have. You were so right on both suggestions. One, I have learned a lot from just watching a lot of judges and attorneys over the years, and all the different things I have done. I would say, mentioning the first ops docket, that was one of the most beneficial positions, was sitting and watching and learning how judges do it, how they move through difficult dockets, make tough decisions on limited information. And I started learning about the importance of my position, even as a defense attorney and a docket deputy, to be a willing and competent asset for the entire courtroom. So once again, that was a really important way to learn. And then as a younger attorney, learning from all the district court judges. A lot of those have retired at this point. Once again, been 20 years. But Judge Schreiber and Judge Springer, Judge Higginson, and Judge Zimmerman, and Judge Aisland, and then Langsdorf and Judge Osler, learning all their different styles, learning how they do different things. You don't always take everything for yourself, but you take little bits and pieces. And so I've always appreciated that. There have been so many attorneys that I've worked for and with since 2006, so it's impossible certainly to highlight everyone. But what I think reflects our legal community here the most is the fact that there are many times I have thought or said to other people that I have enjoyed coming to work each day. I enjoy solving problems. I enjoy learning new things, teaching new things to other people. I've spent more days finding something to laugh about here than cry about, mostly. And that is mostly important, and that's most importantly because of the people that I've worked with, which is each and every one of you, judges, attorneys, legal assistants, judicial assistants, interpreters, custody officers. We all make the courtroom work. And I feel like we're unique in the sense of how we do. A lot of us enjoy working together and being in the courtroom together. So I want to thank my coworkers over the years. I've always tried to take opportunities whenever they came. I went to Greenland for a while, working with Lisa and Karen are here, and Jenny. Was a great experience and learning from you guys. Karen's now an attorney. She was a paralegal and way smarter at me than anything except what I could do criminal, but everything else I'd be like, Karen, and then at least I know all the paperwork were correct. And I was really happy that you became an attorney, as you should. And Lisa, one of the reasons I watched Judge Snyder with her mother of 3 kids, you were a mom of 3 kids. I'm like, how is this woman having this like family law practice and doing all this? Spoiler, she had a nanny. She's not very long. Attorney. So I learned a lot. So I really appreciate that and your support as a friend ever since. A special thank you to all my colleagues at Vancouver Defenders for being the primary reason for almost these 20 years. I can say that I enjoy coming to work. Handling public defense matters is a stressful job. It is essential to have people who can teach you, who can support you, who can remind you of the importance of what you're doing, why you're doing it, because I promise you it is never for the money, and because it's never because anyone will ever say thank you. Maybe once in a while. You know, so I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that are all here today. Along with those like Bill and me couldn't be here. I also want to thank Jan Anderson, who hired me first, a female defense attorney in Clark County through the 80s and 90s. I can't imagine. She was the one to hire me. Jeff Barra, who provided me so many opportunities, none more important when I came to him after a few years of being a mom, stressed out, and worried how I was going to practice law without losing my mind, a case, or a child. So he said, come on back and we'll figure it out. And Christy and I did. Christy, you took over as owner of Vancouver Defenders. This is why I didn't have to talk. In April of 2020, I will repeat that again. April of 2020. You had a 5th grader and a kindergartner and 20 other children. You will call them lawyers. At the start of a worldwide pandemic, you kept the office running, you kept everyone employed, and as someone managed to actually grow the office. It has been an honor to sit next to you. And your hard work has helped out of the worst. Establish the biggest and most consistent working public defense presence in Clark County. I can say today, a lot of us are thankful for what you were able to provide. Thank you for having me be a part of it and be my biggest champion and support when I wanted to move to the bench. As some of you can see, I have a large supportive family. It is my greatest strength, my greatest privilege. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, step-parents, more cousins. I have a large family. I'm especially grateful to be here so I can redeem myself senior year, or senior assembly. I might have apparently gotten some awards. I did not tell my parents. And I'm almost so and didn't come. And at the time I was like, you know, senior grad, I was like, whatever, it wasn't a big deal. But now that I'm a mother, the fact that I deprived them of the moment to be like, hey, I'm a good parent, look what my kids did. Sorry. So, mom and dad, you were really good at the parenting thing. So thank you. Thank you, Dad, for being the smartest person I know, a hard worker who also consciously made career decisions based on what kept us close to our family and allowed you to do things like coach a middle school girls basketball team. I don't know why you chose to do that for many years. I know why I chose to do it last year for Grayson's team, and that was because of you. Mom, thank you for being a stay-at-home mom for many years and watching Perry Mason at noon every day. I am pretty sure that was the first attorney I ever saw and realized that this was a job. Thank you for meeting with your divorce attorney years later and coming back from a meeting with this woman and telling me that I should be an attorney because Meg, you could work and be a mother too. Thank you for going back to school at the age of 38, even though I know it scared you. It was important for us to see that. Thank you for telling me not to worry about working and having kids. I knew you were going to help. You have been every day, including Monday when I called you because I forgot my social security card. And I had to go get the county key card. And so I asked you to go get it. When you did, you didn't follow my directions though, because I asked her to put in my minivan. Instead, she went to the district court office. I think she's met half the office. And I can't be embarrassed. That's my life. helps me get through it and has always done everything she could to support me, so thank you. I have lots of siblings. I'm a middle child, so I'd like to thank Molly and Andy are here, and my brother for allowing me to grow up to be the middle child. It made me really adept at dispute resolution. But also, there's no coincidence in the world that each of us have 3 children, and that we have that to be so important to us in our lives. So thank you. Just a special shout out, being a working mom is it's a thing, it's something you have to think about constantly. So we certainly couldn't have done it without the people that have supported us with all our daycare needs. Of course, that was my mom. It was also my mother-in-law who passed away a year ago. It's my Mandy, who is crazy. She was working like every other week when I first had Hadley, and she's like, I'll have Hadley on my off weeks. So I'll take her with my 18-month-old twin to my 5-year-old son, and I'll watch Hadley too. So, and then I found a nanny, and then I found this. So like my first year of being a mom, she had worked it all out. My first year of being a mom of 2, my stepdad watched Grayson for me. And then they all ended up at Honolulu as a daycare provider. My big Judge Coach's daughter, Tova. Tova was a biter and out just for daycare. So she had to go traverse Vancouver for a proper daycare. She came across Honolulu, France. And so a lot of us just went to Honolulu. Ms. Hawk, son, Booker, now they are still. So if those kind of things that happen, it's that support from colleagues that you may get, but you never know, that have made me be able to be here today. Okay, these guys are my husband and children. I'd really like to thank my kids. We have 3 children, Hadley, Grayson, and Emma, 14, 12, and 6 years old, kindergartner. They put up a lot over the years. Neither of Griffin and I haven't picked easy careers that are jobs that stop at 5 every day. So they've had to run to court with me. They've waited patiently, mostly for Zoom meetings to be done or Zoom court, although you guys probably have seen them in video at some point. They've gone with their dad to various school functions at all times of the day. They've dealt with distracted parents on phone calls. So your dad and I certainly really do like the work we do. We've always tried to make that clear that we like what we do. We like being of service to people, but it does come at a cost. And we couldn't do it if you guys weren't good kids and stayed on track and won't be on the juvenile. So Griffin, there's not many good decisions made at the Funky Planet, which was located just across the Canadian border in March of 2000. But that night in college, we did make a good decision to start partnership. I merged my business. Yeah. There's no one in this room has wanted this more for me or pushed me more to do this. You are the dreamer in our family. I know I have many times been exasperated probably by this and questioned your sanity as to why you think we could do all of it. But you did not let up on me, always telling me that I can do this, that I should do this. You have never let go of the idea that I needed to make some decisions for myself without defaulting to you, the kids, or family, or any doubts I may have had. So thank you. I just want to end this by saying that the justice system has changed since March of 2000. The pandemic started it, but this county has continued to grow, which combined together has resulted in unprecedented dockets, caseloads, and stress for everyone involved in the court system. I do not believe there's some magic answer to any of this, but I do want to let everyone know that I have seen the hard work that you all have been doing in each of the courtrooms in both district and superior court. And I feel I have a deep understanding how everyone involved is so essential to making this work. If I were to say anything about myself when it comes to my work, I would probably start with the fact that I am a good coworker. I've always been willing to do any job that needed to be done, to come to the table and figure out a solution to a problem. And I've never shied away from responsibilities or making hard decisions. So that is why I put in for this position. It's really why I'm so grateful I was picked by the council, why I'm ready to get started. So let's get to work tomorrow morning.
invited everyone to join her to continue the celebration at the Grant House. At this time, welcome to the bench. We're so grateful to have you. And court is adjourned. Thank you.